Hi guys, welcome to Storytime Part 14. Last time we read, we left off with Kyle, Akimi, I wanted to call her something else, I don't know why, Sierra and Miguel. They were in the library. They've all been locked out of the rooms, of the Dewey Decimal rooms for, I think it said 14 hours. So they have been given books to read. Kyle has decided to use his Ask an Expert help thing, and he decided to call his brother. So they wrote down a list of all of the authors that had statues in the reading room, and he called Curtis, his older brother, to see what they all had in common. And last time we read, Curtis said he had no idea. So we're going to start off in chapter 40 today and see if he can come up with something. Really? Kyle was astonished. You've got nothing? Well, said Curtis, the only connection I can see is Thomas Wolfe wrote Look Homeward, Angel, and Lewis Carroll wrote Through the Looking Glass. Both titles have the word look in them, but the two books are otherwise completely different. The two authors as well. Kyle and his whole team stood in stunned silence until Sierra started jumping up and down. Of course, she shouted. Your time is up, announced Dr. Zinchenko. Okay, Kyle said to the computer screen. Thanks, Curtis. That was, really helpful. It was, said Sierra, daintily clapping her hands together like a very polite seal. The computer screen faded to black. What's up? Asked Miguel. I think I know how to crack the statue code. There's a code? Said Akimi. Who knew? It'll take time, said Sierra, and I need a computer. Okay, said Kyle, who was sort of shocked to see Sierra so completely jazzed. We'll be in our meeting room putting together a list of new Dewey Decimal numbers from the Bibliomania cards, so we're ready to hit the ground running when the doors reopen at 10 tomorrow morning. While Sierra settled in at a desktop computer pad, the rest of the team returned to the Bibliomania board game. We should just start flipping over cards and putting together a list of call numbers, Kyle suggested. Sounds like a plan, said Akimi. She plucked a purple card out of the pile. Lose a turn was all that was printed on the other side. Try a different color, urged Miguel. Akimi flipped up a blue card. Take an extra turn was printed on it, so Akimi flipped over all other blue cards while Miguel flipped over all the purples. The purple cards all said lose a turn. The blue ones all said take an extra turn. Kyle had been checking out the red and maroon piles. The reds all say pick a yellow card, he reported. The maroons say grab a green. The grays do the same thing, only they say pick a pink. The tan cards say go grab an orange. So that leaves the colors we've already played. Kyle flipped over a yellow card. In the square root of 48,629.2027129. What the? Said Akimi. Hang on, said Miguel. There's a calculator app in this desktop computer. Kyle read the rest of the card. Find half of 44030. Well, that's 22015 again, said Sierra, and the square root of 48,000 whatever is 220.5203, said Miguel. The King James Bible we already found. Akimi flipped through the rest of the yellow cards. Same with these. They all send us into the religion section to find that Bible verse. Ditto with the greens, reported Miguel. All clues leading to bird songs, warbles, and whistles. And the pinks all lead back to 027.4, said Kyle. I guess they really wanted to make sure we found Get to Know Your Local Library. Which leaves the wild card, said Akimi. She examined the orange deck. Find a rhyme for cart and paperbacks, smart and zodiacs, tart and potato sacks. The art and artifacts room, said Miguel with a sigh. Where, Akimi continued, we need to find a rhyme for Randy, Sandy, or Brandy. The Willy Wonka candy, said Miguel. So, said Kyle, I'm guessing the Bibliomania game was supposed to help us find the 4 clues we've already found. But we need to know more numbers, said Miguel, because a library should be a no place for nobodies. No place for nobodies, like K-N-O-W. When Miguel made his pun, Kyle and Akimi both groaned. But then Kyle thought of something. This is why Mr. Lemoncello called our timeout a bonus. He knew we'd need a ton of time to find a new source of numbers. Just then, Sierra burst into the meeting room. You guys, I found a whole bunch of new numbers. What? Said Kyle, Akimi, and Miguel. Where? Up on the ceiling. Chapter 41. You need to look up at the Wonder Dome, said Sierra. Huh? Said Kyle. Sierra and her whole team were standing together outside the door to Community Meeting Room B. She hadn't been this happy or excited in a long time. Sierra, said Akimi, why exactly are you suggesting we all give ourselves a crick in the neck by staring at the ceiling? Okay, this is a game some of us play online called What's the Connection? I put up a list of authors and you have to figure out how they're linked by the titles of their books. Whoa, said Akimi sort of sarcastically. Sounds like fun. It is, but believe me, it's not easy. What'd you figure out? Asked Miguel. Well, like Curtis said, Thomas Wolfe wrote Look Homeward, Angel, and Lewis Carroll wrote Through the Looking Glass. That got me thinking. In running computer searches, Stephen Sondheim wrote a book called Look, I Made a Hat. Maya Angelou wrote Even the Stars Look Lonesome, and Pseudonymous Bosch wrote This Isn't What It Looks Like. They all have look in the title, said Kyle. What about the other 5 authors, said Akimi. Did they write look books too? No, they're up for a different word. Huh? Booker T. Washington wrote Up from Slavery, and Shel Silverstein wrote Falling Up. And Dr. Seuss, said Kyle. Great day for Up. George Orwell did Coming Up for Air, and Todd Strasser has a book called If I Grow Up. So the 10 statues give us 2 words, said Miguel. Yep, look and up. So I did. I looked up at the Wonder Dome. There, do you see it? That string of numbers that just drifted across the 200 screens under the Star of David? 220.5203, said Miguel. Akimi knuckle punched Kyle in the arm. This is just like that bonus code thingy you showed me on the school bus. Of course, said Kyle. This is a Lemoncello game. He always hides secret codes in screwy places. Way to go, Sierra. Thanks, said Sierra, realizing how much more fun it was to play this kind of game with real friends instead of virtual ones on the internet. But we already found that same 200s number playing Bibliomania, said Miguel. True, said Kyle. Check out the sections for numbers the cards wouldn't give us. Everybody craned their necks and focused on the graphics swimming across the 10 panels overhead. Here comes another one, said Sierra. In the 600s, right underneath the floating stethoscope. Got it, said Kyle. 624.193. Woohoo, said Akimi. Sierra, you're my new hero, said Kyle. You saved the day. Sierra blushed. Thanks. The spinner, said Akimi. Huh? Said Miguel. That was another clue. The Bibliomania game was pointing us to the ceiling too, because in Dewey Decimal Mode, the Wonder Dome looks like a giant 3D version of the board game Spinner. Awesome, Sierra, said Miguel. Absolutely awesome. Sierra and her teammates stared up at the ceiling for over an hour. At 12:30, they finally lay down on the floor so they wouldn't cramp their neck muscles. Because every 15 minutes, the animated ceiling looped through call numbers for every Dewey Decimal room in the library, except one, and then the sequence repeated itself. How come there's no 300s number, said Miguel. Probably because that's the one book we really, really, really need, said Kyle. That Lemoncello, said Akimi. What a comedian. Chapter 42. Peering over the railing on the 3rd floor balcony at close to 2 a.m., Andrew Peckelman saw Sierra Russell sitting all alone in the Rotunda reading room. Andrew had spent the night on the 3rd floor losing video games to Charles, and being reminded about how much he needed to break into Community Meeting Room B to borrow any clues Kyle Keeley's team had gathered to pay Charles back was wasting so much of the team's time on the Anne of Green Gables clue due to his foolish fear of heights. That was the longest sentence I've ever read. Andrew had promised Charles he'd do whatever it took. If anyone on Team Keeley is going to help us break into their headquarters, Charles had said, it will be the shy girl who is constantly reading. Have you noticed what Sierra Russell uses for a bookmark? No, Andrew had honestly answered. Her library card, which of course doubles as a key card for Meeting Room B. Find a way to borrow it. Isn't that illegal? Of course not. This is a library. People borrow books, don't they? Well, yeah. Did I mention that I have 3,000 Facebook friends, 2,000 Twitter followers? Each and every one of them will hear what a weenie and wimp you are if you don't do this thing to guarantee that our team wins. So Andrew made his way down to the 1st floor. Sierra, as usual, was reading a book. As he moved closer, Andrew saw a flash of white. Charles was right. Sierra was using her shiny white library card to mark her place in the book's pages. He made his way to the cluster of overstuffed reading chairs. Good book? His voice startled her. Oh, hello. Yes. Mind if I join you? He slid into a crinkly leather seat opposite Sierra. So, what are you reading? Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator by Roald Dahl. Oh yeah, I've heard about that book. Where's the rest of your team? They went to bed. Want to get up bright and early, before the doors on the 2nd floor open again. Yeah, Haley and Charles conked out too. Guess it's just us bookworms, huh? Well, it's kind of late, said Sierra. I'm going to go upstairs and... May I take a look? At your book. I've never actually read it. I just tell people I have. Oh, sure. Sierra handed it to him. Thank you. Andrew flipped through the pages until he found the spot where Sierra had tucked in her library card. Wouldn't it be cool if this library had like a flying elevator in that, like in that Willy Wonka movie? Especially if you could use it to crash to the roof like Charlie and Wonka did. That'd be a pretty cool way to escape from the library, huh? Yeah, I guess. That was when Andrew made the switch. He slipped his library card into Sierra's book and palmed hers. Charles would be so proud of him. So, he said, closing the book, did you ever read The Elevator Family? No, I don't think so. It's all about this family that lives in an elevator of a San Francisco hotel, and let's just say the book has its ups and downs. Andrew laughed hysterically because it was one of the funniest jokes he knew. Sierra sort of chuckled. He handed back her book. Overhead, the Wonder Dome dissolved out of its Dewey Decimal mode and with a swirl of colors became a bright green bedroom with a pair of red-framed windows looking out on a blue night sky with a full moon and a blanket of twinkling stars. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of a cow jumping over the moon. The ceiling had become the bunny's bedroom from Goodnight Moon. A quiet old lady bunny in a frumpy blue dress hopped into the rotunda reading room. 2 tiny cats followed her. Great, said Andrew, another stupid hologram. I think she's cute, said Sierra. Hush, said the bunny. Good night clocks and good night socks. Good night, Sierra. Good night, Bunny. Sierra took her book and headed upstairs. Good night, Andrew, said the bunny. Right. He pocketed the purloined library card. He couldn't do anything with it right away, not while the holographic bunny's handlers were watching on the spy cameras. But first thing in the morning. Good night, old bunny, saying hush, he called out. And then under his breath he muttered, in the morning, our competition, we're gonna crush. And that's all for today. So we're getting really close to the end. It seems like we're getting really close to one of the teams escaping from the library, but they're both so close. I just need a few more clues. So in the morning, they'll be, probably in the next chapter, they'll be able to go back in the Dewey Decimal rooms, so they'll be able to finish up their search. Before we go, I don't have a question or anything today, but I do want to say that I'm filming this on May the 4th, which I'm sure y'all know is National Star Wars Day. So all I have to say is may the Force be with you. Bye!